Welcome back to Financial Independence 101. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about scams in 2024, how people want to scam you out of your money. Obviously, the economy is not the greatest. Getting a good job is challenging. Inflation through the roof. People needing money. And a lot of these criminals are turning to more scams. They're upping the ante on these scams. We'll go through a plethora of different scams and what to watch out for, how to avoid getting caught up in these scams. I got to tell you, an ounce of prevention's worth a ton of cure when it comes to avoiding these scams. I'm going to talk about this. Most of these I've personally witnessed, I've seen, and I've personally avoided. I'll tell you what I do to avoid them coming up. First off, we're going to talk about some telephone scams. There's a ton of them out there, but like this one here is saying an impersonator, a scammer pretends to be someone you trust, government agency, FBI, sheriff, county, and then claims there's a problem with your computer or something along those lines. There are so many phone scams, and that they're asking you for personal information. If they call you and ask you for personal information, it's a scam. That's all there is to it. No matter what it is, if it's a business, if it's a government agency, if it's the IRS is not going to call you up and start asking you for your personal information. They're going to do everything through the mail. And that's just the way the IRS operates. They will not call you. I don't think the IRS has my phone number. You know who has your phone number? A bunch of scammers that paid to illegally buy your information so that they could scam you. And with that, what I usually do with a lot of these, number one, I never, ever, ever, under any circumstance, do I ever give out any personal information to an incoming call. I will take their information. I always say I'm too busy. I'll call you back. Give me your information. I'll call you back. Most of the time they won't give it to you, or if they do, then they might be somewhat semi-legitimate. But the other thing I do is if I don't recognize the number, I just don't answer it. And then if they leave a message and it's legit, it's something like, hey, a doctor appointment from a weird phone number, but oh yeah, that's my doctor appointment reminder. At least you got that in your messages. And then if you're concerned about whatever it is, you go to the official site, you call the official number, you call and talk to the official people to find out if there really is an issue with this phone scam. Next up, we have these debt relief and credit repair scams. Now, first of all, I don't need to go into trying to look into all this stuff for myself personally, but I see this all the time. And there's so many debt reliefs, and I think, man, that sounds really great. But there's got to be an angle to it. And the angle is usually it's a scam. They're going to get as much money from as many people as they can because you're going to have to pay them their fee. It's just a small $200 fee or something, $300 fee to set it up. And then they'll consolidate all your stuff. But the other aspect of it, in order for them to get your credit information and to know everything and to work on your behalf, they need to get a lot of sensitive information from you. So there's a whole lot of issues here where you can A, end up paying them, to B, steal more of your money and rip you off and scam you. It is terrible. And I really don't even know. I don't even know who to recommend that's a legitimate debt relief service that's not going to scam you. Sorry, I just don't know that one. Charity scams, I got to tell you that a lot of charities, there's a lot of scammers out there, especially during the times, or certain times that St. Jude has a big push, and a lot of companies actually are helping with that, and there's a goals to achieve, and that's the time that you'll see a lot of these charity scams. But they'll want to call you up or email you or send you a lot of stuff for this to go to this link to this site, contribute here. You need to go to the legitimate charity. If you want to donate to charity, you need to do it legitimately. And also with that, when you legitimately go to the legitimate sites to actually donate this, then you'll have documentation for your taxes. So you can claim up to $250 generally for a standard. That's what it was last time I had to claim a charity. But you can actually claim it on your taxes too. So make sure you do it the right way. But there's a lot of people out there trying to opportunize on charity scams. I've seen a lot of this free trial scams. I got to tell you that in the early days of all of this, I lucked out that I got real actual free trials. I was playing fast and loose with a lot of my information back then. And one of the things was that I always used a burner credit card, meaning that if I was doing all these sign up for free trials and you get a free item like a PSP, PlayStation Portable, or you sign up, you get a Nintendo DS or something like that. If you sign up for 6 of these free trials, you'll get a free Nintendo DS 6 months later mailed to you. It actually always worked out for me. But that was the early days, the wild, wild west. Nowadays, with things more technologically advanced and more scammers using technology, these free trial products end up, you don't get the product and you get scammed. Because the free trials usually work like this. You give them your credit card, but they won't bill it as long as you cancel it by the end of the free trial or you send it back or whatever's going on with that. What generally happens is A, you don't get a product, and B, you just get your credit card maxed out by these scammers. So I avoid this at all costs. The free trials, I always cancel it when they ask me to put in a credit card or any form of payment because it's not free. Next up is grandparent scams. There's a lot of these cyber thieves that are trying to scam elderly people, and they find enough information that they have grandkids, and then they contact these grandparents and say that your grandchild was just in a car accident and is needing emergency surgery, and we need this money wired to us to pay the surgeon to do this operation. There's all kinds of weird, wacky things that go on out there. Now, I got to tell you right now that I've never been in this situation, and my advice is that I don't really have advice saying what I've done in this situation, because I've never been in this situation. But in my mind, when it comes to my kids, I think I know what's going on with my kids. There's not that distance between my kids and then their kids for grandkids. There's not that. But even my own in-laws keep up with enough to know that if they got called with this situation, then they wouldn't fall for it. They would know, yeah, I know that our grandkids are fine, no big deal. But a lot of situations, there's states away, grandparents are states away, and they fall for this because they don't want anything to happen to their grandkids or even their own kids. So it's a tough situation here, but just bring it to people's attention. All right, this day and age, people are needing money. And loan scams, be aware of advanced loan fee scams, where scammers guarantee you loans or credit cards for an upfront fee. Again, something else that I don't have any experience dealing with this. What I do know is that I get probably 10 loan offers a week, which I would think when credit is restricting during this giant banking crunch that we're under right now, and maybe 300 banks fail, that new loans is probably not the top of their priority, but I still see it. I get all kinds of stuff for get a loan. Some of those are probably scams. I don't really care because I don't need a loan and I don't ever plan on getting another loan in my life, but with this is one of those weird situations too. We got to be careful. When you hear there's a fee for a loan, generally that's not how it worked in the past. I did have to put money down on my house, a down payment on my house, but that's not the same thing as a fee for loan. In fact, my first mortgage was 2 months later. I didn't have to pay one until bought the house in December. Didn't pay a payment till February. So that's how my loan went for my house. But anyway, this is something to pay attention to. Really close to that one is the prize sweepstakes or lottery scams, where they pretty much say that you'll need to pay the taxes on this up front on your prize. And again, that's not how that works. That's not how that works from what I've seen in the past. Now, I know we've got a lot of casinos in Oklahoma, and generally with the casino, if you win your winnings and it's over $600, then they're going to do a tax form on you and withhold taxes. Now, if you're winning like a car or something along those lines, the way you pay the taxes is much different because you're going to pay it at the DMV and all that. But just be wary of this. If somebody says you won something, but you got to pay for it, you didn't win anything. Time, share, and travel scams. I can't tell you how many complete total vacations I've won in the past 20 years. I mean, I've won probably 3 a year for 20 years. So I've won at least 60 full-on vacations. I've called on 2 or 3 of them, and they're all scams. Every one of these that I've gotten, and usually I get them in the mail too. And then the thing about timeshares, I've sat through 3 of those. You get to eat an all you can eat buffet, but you're there for 2 hours, and it's an all you can eat buffet, so you just go back for more, and you just keep eating it up. And then at the end, they're really high pressure to get you to buy this timeshare. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't have enough time to go on vacations these days. I was just wanting to learn about your timeshare for when I do. And they don't like that, but that was my excuse to get out of it. But the thing about this whole timeshare scam is that they don't let you out of this timeshare. Once you're in it, it's almost impossible to get out of timeshare, from what I understand. And with that, I actually don't like traveling and going on vacations, to tell you the truth. I kind of like just chilling around the house. So that's another issue for me. I would never would have gotten involved in these, but I hear a lot of negativity from everybody that's gotten a timeshare. One of the biggest problems with timeshare is that the best places to visit, the times you want to visit those, like if you want to visit a warm tropical place in the winter, those are all booked. If you want to go skiing in the summer or spring break and you want to go skiing in certain areas, those places are all booked. So that's what I'm hearing. The timeshares, they're legit, they work, but the places that you want to go, when you want to go, are usually unavailable. All right, copycat bank fraud alert, protection alerts. This is a definite problem where they try to say your financial institution, your bank, your credit card, or any of them, that it's been compromised, and you need to click this link in this email. It's usually in emails. Click this link in this email. Or a text, or yeah, it could be a text too. But click this link and then log in and fix this problem. And the problem is that it is a fake email, and I've seen this. They're linking you to a site that looks like the official site, and when you put your login information, it just captures your login information, but it throws an error. And the problem is that they'll have that information, then they'll go to the official site, log in, and wreak havoc on your finances. Here's how I protect myself. First of all, I look at the email. There's going to be multiple emails, not just yours. So you're in like a group of emails. You're a bundle of emails. That's the first way to know it's a scam. The second thing I do to protect myself is I never go to the link in the email. I go to the official site itself that I go to all the time, log in and see if everything's okay. And guess what? If you log into the official site and there's a problem, there's going to be a big red box saying there's a problem. So that's what I do. I don't let myself get caught up in these copycat bank fraud prevention alerts or with credit cards and all that kind of stuff too. Also, I get emails for credit cards I don't have, banks I'm not involved in, and iPhone stuff. I guess you could put the iPhone stuff in here too, because I don't own an iPhone. I don't ever want to own an iProduct under any circumstance. I don't want to own an Apple product ever. Ever. But yet, my Apple whatever has been compromised. I'm like, yep, there's a scam. Now, this is one that ticks up during the holiday season, the fake package delivery problems. You see what looks like a legitimate UPS, and it says your package is held up for whatever reason. Now, for me, I go look at what I know is coming in, and I look around and I see if my tracking's doing okay. But they want you to obviously give up personal information to say that you're going to accept this package, or that you're going to... There's another one, and this is actually kind of strange, where they say for you to cancel the signature confirmation so it can be delivered, because we're unable to deliver to you for whatever reason, and you must log in and you must take the delivery without the signature confirmation or whatever. There's a lot of details to this, but every single time it looks legit. I expect stuff from UPS, FedEx, and the post office. So these are tricky ones, but I got to tell you, you just go to whatever you expect to come in, and whatever site, if you buy it from eBay or Amazon or wherever, or an individual, and you just check that tracking and see where the tracking's at. See how things are going, and don't click on their link, because it's going to take you to a scammer site. Now, the not from Amazon security alerts. This is similar to the last one. I have seen so many of these where they say your account is locked, your Amazon account is locked, and it's one of those things that almost everybody has an Amazon account, so it's really easy. Just spam this out to everybody. Same exact things. This email you get is going to have 7 different emails in it. It's going to have your email along with 7 different ones. And a lot of times it'll be your variations of your email. So slight similar variations of your email. And it's crazy how they do this kind of stuff. But again, I always just go to Amazon, log in, everything looks good. There's no problems at my Amazon. But the other thing with these, when you get an email, where's it coming from? Because you look at the actual email address it comes from, and it's such a weird email address. It's not Amazon service at Amazon, or Amazon service, or customer service, or Amazon fraud detection, or something like that. It's just some weird Mama Joe Blues sending you an email. It's weird nonsense that comes in. And to protect yourself, well, what I do, I just close that email out and I go to Amazon and see there's nothing wrong. Here's another fake invoice. And if you're getting an invoice from an unexpected company, then obviously you're not going to pay that invoice. And I got to wondering, like, who's going to fall for this? Who's going to fall for a fake invoice? But it does happen. It's kind of a sense of urgency, a fear tactic. And it happens during times, usually, again, this happens during the holiday season, when you're extremely busy. You don't have time to stop and think about it. And some people are like, oh, I forgot to pay something, something, something. That must be the invoice for it. So there's ways to get caught on this and be very careful, especially in the business world. When you're dealing with invoices, mostly with business accounts, that you could easily get caught up in all of this. But as I was the kind of person that processed invoices for corporate restaurants, you do your business to business, they look a certain way. And a lot of these scam invoices are super ultra generic also. But just be careful, be wary, and whenever I see these invoice scams, I always just close them out and move on. So we got this update your payment message, and this is something that recently happened to my wife, and she got to update your Netflix payment. Click here to update your Netflix payment, or your Netflix is going to get canceled. Here's the way I feel. If I get canceled on a streaming service, I just don't care. I'm going to start saving some money. I don't really watch all those, but she does. And she's in charge of that aspect, because if she wants it, she can keep up with it. But, yep, this is something that happened with Netflix, and it happens with a lot of these other streaming services. It happens with maybe a cell phone provider. And anything, they're just hoping that they hit you with a bill that you actually pay. And when these scammers pay for your personal information, there has been some level of processing to your information to kind of put you in a basket of, these people have Amazon, these people have iPhone stuff, but as you can see, they really don't do a very good job of bundling them, and it's really easy to see through all these lies. Last, I'm going to end on romance scams, and this is something that I was kind of thinking when I first heard about these stories, where lonely people would start talking to somebody, whether on the internet, that met them on the internet, that met them somehow, and like, if you've never met this person and you've never actually seen them in person, and they're requesting money, like they're in hardship, I need $1,000 to pay this bill, or I'm gonna lose my house or my car or something along those lines, and I'm just behind, I'm struggling, I want to get ahead, I want to get caught up financially so I can come visit you, because our love is that great and that strong. And it's real easy for myself, I've been with my wife for 25 years, and other people to look at that and say, how could you fall for it? But at the same time, you could say, but when somebody's lonely, and maybe this person works 15 hours a day like I was doing, and goes home, doesn't have time to meet anyone unless you meet somebody at work or at school or something along those lines. Generally, there's no time to meet anyone. I could see this. I've heard other stories where the people got ripped off, they knew they got ripped off, and they kept a relationship with the scammer, because that scammer was somebody to talk to. They could tell them their problems, and these scammers are actually really good at telling you what you want to hear, make you feel good about your life. So effectively, they were sending $1,000 every few months to somebody, knowing they're a scammer, and still staying in this relationship simply so they had somebody to talk to. That's sad, but it happened. I mean, is it worth $1,000 to have somebody that's going to talk to you and make you feel good and tell you good things and stuff like that? Maybe, I guess, but it's all up to the individual. but I can see these romance scams. They work online, especially these days, especially with what's going on in 2024. And I got to say, the whole social construct is being destroyed, and also the nuclear family being destroyed. And I can see a lot of people more lonely going forward and falling for these romance scams. But with that, just be aware of what's going on out there. And I'm always suspect if you're not meeting them in person, at least. All right, so let me know what you think about these scams. Did this video help you? Did this kind of shed a light on some of the things that are going on right now that you see every day in your inbox, on your phone calls? And did I give you some tools in your belt to sort of protect yourself? But also, what other scams are out there? Because I'm going to make many more videos talking about scams, trying to help enlighten people about what's going on in the world. And as it gets more technologically crazy out there, I want to talk about this. Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe. Financial Independence out.